Leslie, am I on mute?
No.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. Who's got a shout out from the summit? Tell me something good. Does anybody have anything good? Come on, Leslie, tell me something good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 It
Every,
feels like a Monday today. That's why.
everybody's quiet this morning.
It's a
It
Monday.
does feel like Monday.
Oh,
Well, I'll shout out something good. We got last week we had our movie night appreciation. We had 64 participants. It was a great event. And it was amazing. We watched School of Rock and it was super fun.
it
And
was a
that was
lot of
great.
fun.
It was a lot of fun. And then we also got we just Nancy here got us two radio spots leading up to and on the morning of Red Day. So we're going to be on KZYR the morning leading up to and the morning of Red Day to promote this food drive. So that's something good.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And apologies here. I don't know how to work mute from my phone on Zoom, apparently. Um, I think last week we had a really great, was it only last week that we did Breakthrough 120? No, it was the week before we did Breakthrough 120. And then we rock and rolled with accountability last week. And then a lot of us went down to Denver for the Listapalooza. I think it was Thursday, and Gaye presented a very masterful conversation that she has with her sellers. And I will tell you that I was very pleasantly surprised with that whole event. Everyone who was there, I think, got something good out of it for sure. And, we're rolling into spring break here. So that's also why it feels like Monday, because Summit County is on spring break, and I am halfway there and headed up to Winter Park uh, to say hi to all of our people in person.
Good. Anybody else? One more. Somebody give me a shout out. Come on now. Danielle, something's good. Tell me something.
I
Uh,
can go.
I don't have that. I'm sorry, I'm dead. I was gonna talk about the movie night, but you already did.
Okay. Savannah Campbell, she's always bright and shiny. Come on, Savannah, tell me something good.
I was just going to say, and I know they're not on here because, Jeff and Julie are in Hawaii. They're on their 3 week little vacation down there. And yet they are just rocking and rolling while on vacation. They um, have put 4 under contract in the past week. So negotiating from Hawaii. And it's just awesome to just see the growth we're experiencing this year.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Savannah.
Hey, can I share
Oh,
one other thing, Ryan, too? I'm so sorry. And I especially want to share it because she is on the call. Morgan Keeler, shout out to you, my friend. Morgan joined us a couple of months ago. What was it, 6 months ago? It doesn't feel like that long ago, but it was probably longer because time is fluid. And we had a really heartfelt couple of meetings where she was not feeling as stoked about herself and her business. And I had all the faith in the world in Morgan, and she was just atop the March regional leaderboard for highest GCI in the region. So, yeehaw, Morgan, you're killing it. And I can't wait to celebrate with you here in just a few more minutes.
Thank you, Leslie.
that's great, Morgan. Okay, moving forward here, we've got Base Camp Buzz, events, trainings, and announcements. Monday through Friday, Breakthrough 120 Accountability Group. It's 9 a.m., 10 a.m. on Tuesdays following the lift. So right after this, we will have a Breakthrough 120 Accountability Group on Zoom in the Frisco and the Edwards office. Weekly on Tuesday, we have productivity coaching with Katie Briggs. 1 to 2 p.m. in the Frisco office and on Zoom, and then weekly on Wednesday contracts with Rod Fishkin, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. in person in the Edwards office. Save the date. As I said, we're going to have our Red Day on the 14th of May, and we're going to be doing a food drive 9 to 5 right here at Village Market. Leslie, what are you guys doing for Red Day? You guys are doing a food drive as well?
Yes, but we're only doing ours from about 3:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
Like right when the grocery store gets busy at the Dillon City Market. We're trying to work out the details right now for Granby and Estes Park. We collectively, our leadership team, like the idea of doing pretty much the same event in all the markets so that we can just we can work off and with each other on this event.
Got it. And then on the 12th, AI in the Mountains with Lauren Lucas. Guys, you don't want to miss this. It's going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Altitude Board of Realtors in Silverthorne.
Let me just say something else about that too. If anybody wants to come to that but doesn't want to drive 3 hours and turn around and go back home, I have a code, a discount code for the AC Marriott over in Frisco. You could make a weekend of it. So I don't have it right off at my fingertips, but shout out to me and we'll get the code to you all as well.
Okay. And then, whoops, I'm sorry. Mile High Market Brief. Russ and Charles on Mondays at 12 p.m. on Zoom. They are doing a deep dive into the industry, talking about statistics, what's going on in transactions. And this is something that they've done it 2 weeks now, I believe. And this is a really good update. So don't miss that. And you can sign up on email on the Monday newsletter. Spring Mile High Luxury Summit. It is this Thursday from 1 to 4 and the happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. at the historic Evans School in Denver. It's $149. Don't miss this. If you're interested in elevating your luxury brand, this is going to be curated by Brandy Sandall. And he's great. I know many of us on the call have listened to Brady before. This is going to be an event you don't want to miss. How many people here on the call are going? Is anybody here going to this? Anyone?
Ryan, I think that some of the Skinner team is going. It's for Summit County, it is our spring break, so people are heading out of town. But if you're not, there are still seats available. I highly recommend that you go. It will be very much worth your while.
That's right. I can't make it either because it's spring break, but don't miss this if you can attend. Beat the algorithm and dominate your local market with Rachel Adams Lee. This is going to be Thursday, May 21st at the PPA Event Center in Denver from 9 to 1. You will learn 13 algorithm changes in 2026, how and what, when to post on social media, scripts to convert your new script follower into a client, and top apps for tech and conversion. Please use this QR code to register. And then the AI-powered agent. Work smarter, scale faster, and stay human. The AI-powered agent is a one-day action-packed event built for real estate professionals, helping you leverage AI to build relationships and to give a better client experience. With Neil Dingra and Lauren Lucas. This is at the Legacy Campus in Parker from 9 to 3 on Thursday, June 11th. Register on the QR code. And it includes lunch, which is nice. And then the QL Summit, June 4th through 6th in Austin, Texas. This is an in-person young adult event. And Savannah, you have experienced this event before, haven't you? Or know people that have?
Yeah, I have taken the class 3 times actually with Gary. I forgot I had done it online during the COVID years.
Any thoughts about this summit?
Yes. So it's one of those things that, and I shared this at an event couple weeks ago. I struggled with confidence, and sorry, I did not know you were going to call on me, so I was in the midst of something. Um, I struggled with confidence growing up most of my life. And this class helped me actually find the confidence I needed and embracing who I truly am and my purpose here. And because of that, my world truly has exploded over almost the past 2 years. So if you have a young adult, I cannot say enough good things about this summit. Or if you know a young adult and you can sponsor them, or you can actually donate to the program to help scholarships, because I was one of the people that received a $10,000 scholarship to help towards my purpose. And you can really, really change the next generation through this program.
Awesome. Thanks, Savannah, for sharing. And then Mega Camp 2026, San Antonio, Texas, August 17th through the 20th, $849. And you can register with the QR code right here. Rocky Mountain Summit coming up right here in our backyard, September 23rd through the 25th at the Height. Do not miss this event, especially because this is in our backyard, Summit County, and here in Vail. Register with the early bird discounts with the QR code. This event every year is action packed, and it is just full of top agents sharing their business ideas and strategies. It's a great networking event as well, to build referral business. Don't miss this, guys. And then RE Profit, I personally love this. I don't know how many of you are using RE Profit, but Russ bought this for our market centers back in November, and this is a great way to keep your expenses, your revenues, and to help you keep everything in line, especially for tax season when things can be crazy that we just went through. Come talk to me or Leslie if you want to get signed up for RE Profit. It is a great tool to keep your finances in order. BrokerBot update just added a smart search. I don't know what that is. I haven't checked it out yet, but please look for the update when you use BrokerBot as an AI tool to help you with your business. Next week, Russ is going to be talking about moving from transactional agent to trusted advisor. And then on the 5th of May, Richard Schulman on simple lead generation that works. So check in on the next few lifts for those. And then on the rise in our market centers, Morgan Keeler, number 3 in top individual closed volume, just under $5 million. Number 7, top individual in GCI at 103,000. Ryan Dube, number 9 in top individual GCI at $90,000. Signature Home Team, Jeff and Julie, congratulations. Number 2 in top team in closed units. Number 1 in top team in closed volume at just shy of 4 million, and number 1 top team in GCI at $114,000. The Skinner team, number 10, top groups in GCI at 130,000, and top of the Rockies, number 5 market center in closed volume, $37 million. Congratulations to you all. Vail, top number 6 individual in closed volume, Leslie Gruters at 4.3 million. Congratulations, Leslie. And then chair chat. Today we have with us Gaye Ribble, and Gaye just presented at Listapalooza was that Thursday? And Gaye is the team leader for Empower Home Team, formerly known as the Ribble Group. Gaye partnered with Sarah Reynolds of Empower Home in 2021. Front Range has welcomed the Ribble Group, now called the Empower Home Team, with their community within their communities for the last 30 years. And Gaye started her business as a solo agent, which grew into a successful team with massive growth over the years. Gaye attributes this remarkable success to continue serving clients at the highest level, cultivating trust and respect within the communities they are proud to serve. Her favorite part about the real estate industry has always been serving clients on the ground level, fostering relationships with clients and helping them unlock their power of owning a home is something she considers to be the greatest honor in the world. She is now serving, has 15 agents on her team and has served over 3,000 families. And Gaye lives by the motto, to whom much is given, much is expected in return. She has a servant's heart, and it brings her great sense of joy and humility to serve others. Gaye, welcome to Chair Chat. How are you today?
Hi, I'm well. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. So, what mountain communities are here
We are,
represented?
so this is I'm in the Vail office and we serve Eagle County, so which is the Vail Valley from Dotsero all the way to East Vail, including Avon, Edwards, Minturn, Eagle Vale in between. And then top of the Rockies, they serve Summit County and also Estes Park and Granby. You guys are up in Granby. Is that right, Leslie?
All of Grand County, Ryan,
Grand County. Okay,
Yep.
Grand County.
which Granby is in. So you were right.
Okay, Grand County. Thank you for the correction. And Gaye, you spent a lot of time on stage last week talking about listing presentations and how you win listings. I want to we were driving home and I had a few new agents with me in the car when we were driving back up the mountain after the presentation at Listapalooza. And one of the things that came to me is as great as our Keller Williams community is, and all of these events that we get to experience, sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially for a new agent when it comes to lead generation. You have Brendan Bartik saying, get away from open houses, get away from cold calling, get away from mailers. You need to have a landing page and you need to have a good pay-per-click ad. And then you have others on the stage saying, oh my gosh, we send flyers all the time and they work. And we call FISBOs. And I want to talk a little bit about that. How can you give some advice to maybe newer agents on maybe the focusing on the 20% to get their big win in the 80%? What does a new agent need to be focusing on to generate business?
Yeah. Well, thank you. Can I ask you to take the slide down
Yes.
and just put that way it's more like I'm talking to you instead of just looking at you from a
Yes.
picture.
Yes.
Um, so I felt that way at the listing palooza. I sat there and felt completely overwhelmed. And I've been doing this for 33 years. And I felt completely overwhelmed by all of you should be doing this and you should, yeah, Brendan, like he's got great things. And no doubt that all of that would work and, does work and would be a great thing to do. And I think what happens, I was looking around the room when Brendan was talking about all of that, and I saw people who were just, like they just had that overwhelmed look. And I felt that way because what I do is I sell houses, right? And so it's very hard to, and that's what I have fought to do my whole career, is to sell houses, to serve buyers and sellers, and to be out there with the community. And so hearing all of that completely made me think, wow, if I didn't have the systems in place that I have, I think I would think maybe this isn't even the industry for me, right? Did any of you, and I know you've got a lot of your folks are out on spring break, but is that kind of the feeling of some of the people that were in your car?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. And again, even a few weeks prior to Listapalooza, James Shaw was talking about all the different ways we can generate leads, from sphere of influence to expired listings, FISBO, open houses, golden letters, social media, etc. And I think part of the challenge that we face, especially with our newer, inexperienced agents, they're getting a fire hydrant of information and they just don't know where to start. And I think that's just one of the challenges we face, especially in a difficult market right now, where there's more inventory, prices have softened, and it's harder for newer agents to get into the game to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I would not exclude, I mean, I wouldn't make it just newer agents that feel overwhelmed, because I would say that probably very experienced agents who haven't worked these methods probably felt that same overwhelm and felt like, am I getting pushed out of the industry? Because, like a lot of what they're talking is not even a language that I understand. And so I come more from that piece of it. And the first thing that I would say is that you need to leverage yourself. And if that's leveraging with Brendan's coaching program, that he can help you with, that might be one way to do it. My leverage actually came with joining Empower Home. And so my path, I started as a solo agent 33 years ago. So I've been doing this a long time. Started out off as a solo agent, did well as a solo agent. Didn't take too long, a couple of years, for me to get an assistant that worked with me. And, it was me and one assistant for probably the first 10 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer than that. Then my husband joined me. And so then we were a husband and wife team. Then ultimately my son ended up joining us, and we, then we're a family team, and we kind of grew from there. But 5 years ago, I, listening to Gary Keller, he really talked about leverage, right? So we hear leads and we hear listings, but I don't think we really pay attention to leverage all that much. And leverage, having someone that can do these things for you so that you can do what you do well, would really be one of the biggest things that I would recommend. And I'm going to use Savannah as an example. Savannah is not out there selling houses. That's not, I don't think. I mean, maybe she is a little bit, but what Savannah has always been great at is supporting people who are selling houses, right? So she gets this, she gets these systems, she gets the marketing, she gets the operations. And with her joining forces with the folks that she's joined forces with, it's helped them to be able to grow their business and to, do more and better and higher and faster and, all of the things. And it's helped Savannah, right? I mean, because she's in her lane doing what she does really well, and they're in their lane doing what they do really well. And I think that would be one of the first things that I would say. You've got to find leverage. For me, my leverage at, the point, and I was already a top 100 team within Keller Williams when I did this. And when I joined forces, I had a one-on-one conversation with Gary Keller. And I said, I just feel like I feel overwhelmed by all of the things. And what I do best and what I love is selling houses. And, there's the practice of real estate and there's the business of real estate. And I don't really love the business of real estate. I'm a realtor's realtor. I love the practice. I like being out there, hitting the pavement and talking to buyers and sellers and doing all of that. And so Gary was like, well, it's leverage. You have to hire somebody that can do that for you. Well, here's what I know about that. If you hire someone that doesn't have a lot of experience, they're emerging talent. So that could be a great way to go. They're less expensive because they are not proven yet. However, they're not proven yet, right? So, there's some risk that comes with that. Then you can have proven talent, which is going to be somebody that's already done it. They can prove it. They have, all of the things that they can show you that they've done, but they're expensive. And, finding the who Gary talks a lot about is, finding that who that can help you. So for me, what I decided to do was I decided to not even hire someone, because I had done that. I had tried that. I had done that we would change our CRM to whatever they liked, and then they would leave, and then here I am with a CRM that I don't know anything about, right? I did that a couple of times, and it was like, this is not working. So I decided to join forces with a team. So Empower Home Team, and this is not a plug for Empower Home Team. We're not even in the mountain communities, but there are teams who are, right? There are national teams, national brands out there who are, that can do a lot of the things for you if you join forces with them. And so when I joined forces with Sarah, people were like shaking their heads. I remember talking to Russ about it, and Russ was like, you were the first big agent to like shut down your brand and go and embrace another brand. And everybody thought you were crazy. And he said, I remember your announcement. I remember that day. Like, it was a really big thing. And people questioned that. And they questioned, why I was doing that. And they thought maybe it was because I was trying to retire. And I'm not. I wasn't then, and I'm still not now. What I was doing it for was leverage. She was proven. She had all of the marketing, all of the, whether it be social media or direct mail, the systems, just all of it. And she was proven talent. I actually gave her, I did not sell her, I gave her half of my business to join forces with her. Now think about that.
Wow.
That was, I did not sell my business to her. In fact, I had to pay like $600,000 to join. Now, not everybody has to do that. That was because I'm a big team and a big, this was not just, it was just not one person going. I was taking a whole team, and we were, rolling this out for all of Colorado, which had never been done. And now what that has done, I can tell you what that's done. At that time, in the top 100, I was number 88. Today, I'm number 21. And it took a long time. I mean, it took 5 years to get from 88 to 21. But as a not leading my own team, I don't do any of the marketing. I don't do any of the any of it. I don't do any of the systems, any of the mailer. There's a newsletter that goes out. I don't even know what the newsletter says. I don't even have to know what the newsletter says, because someone else is doing it and taking care of it, so that I can do what I do best, and that is working with primarily sellers. I work with buyers and sellers. So last year, personally, I sold 80 properties myself for about $65 million in volume. Okay. Now my team sold 239. Actually, well, that's what KW says. We had a lot of off markets and things that, don't count. So we were like at 265, 66 or something like that, for about 170 million in volume. I wasn't doing that before, and that's in a down market. This first quarter, we're up 52%. And I'm going on appointments, I'm working with buyers and sellers, and I don't have to worry about all of that stuff. And actually, I did a video. If you guys go to my Facebook page, and I did a video about it, about the leverage. For me, the leverage was joining a team. It doesn't have to be that. It can be hiring somebody. It can be that emerging talent. Some of you may have kids that are, capable of doing these things that you can hire. But I think that the biggest thing that I would do is, if that is not of your interest, your skill set, it overwhelms you and shuts you down, leverage it out. Don't even do it. Don't even worry about it. Give your vision to them, to whoever this is that you find. And maybe it's a VA. Maybe several of you join together and get a VA that, is into technology. But that is one of the biggest things that I've learned. I am really good at the things that I'm really good at, and I'm terrible at everything else. And I'm okay with that. I've learned that. I accept that for what it is. I'm good at what I'm good at. And that's the lane that I'm going to stay in. That's what I'm going to continue to do. And that is relationships with people, and understanding the market and being able to convey that with confidence, right? That's what I do. And other people do all of the other things. And that's what's helped me to be successful, is not trying to do and be everything. One of the things I say in my listing appointments is, I say it's much like a surgeon. Okay. So if you were to have heart surgery, you would go to the doctor, you talk to the doctor, they'd figure out, what you needed. Sometimes that's the doctor that works on you, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a different doctor that has that specialty, right? But let's say that it's that same doctor that works on you. So when that doctor is going to do heart surgery and perform heart surgery for you, there are all these other people involved, right? There's the pre-op and the post-op. There's people who are sterilizing the instruments. There are people who are giving the instruments to them. Actually, with hearts, somebody different than the surgeon usually is the one that cuts them open and sutures them up. The surgeon is doing what they do really good at, right? Now, think about if you had a surgeon that came in and said, I'm just getting started, so I'm going to do all of those things. I'm gonna do the pre-op, I'm gonna do the post-op, I'm gonna be your anesthesiologist, I'm going to sterilize the equipment, I'm gonna set the appointment, I'm going to work with the insurance company on this, I'm gonna do all of the follow-up with the person, I'm gonna do all of that. How effective would that surgeon be? Probably not very effective, right? Do you know that the average agent who actually sold a house last year? So I think the stat is like 70% of people who have their real estate license didn't even sell one house last year. But there's a lot of people who have their license that aren't, out there actively trying to sell. But the average person who really, is trying to sell real estate sold 2 houses last year. Okay. I've sold 2 houses this week. There is a difference. And so when you're trying to do and be everything, you can't. It's impossible to do and be everything at a high level. And so that's where leverage, that is that third leg of that chair. Without it, the chair doesn't hold up. It doesn't stand up. So that would be the single biggest thing that I would come to say is find the leverage if that isn't you. And if it is you, if you're great at those things, then be the leverage for other people. If that's what you love to do, then do that. Charles Coleman is actually in my downline. I recruited him. I brought Charles into the company. He's never really sold a whole lot of houses. That's not what he's great at. But he's certainly found his path at what he's great at, right? So find your path. Don't try to be it all. Figure out what you are good at. Do that really well and surround yourself with people who do all of the other things really well. That would be my best advice.
So what I'm hearing you say is whether you're a new agent or an experienced agent, it's really focusing on the thing that you love. Because if you don't love it and you're not good at it, and by the way, for you on the call today, all of you on the call, usually if you're good at something, passion's going to intersect there. It's really difficult to be passionate about something if you're not good at it. So what Gay's saying is whether it's hiring a virtual assistant or whether it's joining a team, whether you're experienced or not, having others help you succeed because nobody succeeds alone. That's one of our values at KW is use the tools that you have in your toolbox effectively to get you where you need to go and everything else. Lean on other people. I mean, when I started selling real estate, I didn't know what I was doing at all. And I'm still learning every day. And I had joined Travis Cox's team in Glenwood Springs, performed a few transactions with Travis. And then once I figured out, like Gay, I'm like, I'm pretty good at selling homes. But Katie Briggs and I at the Summit office, we hired a virtual assistant that's already within a month. I wish I would have done it earlier, has already transformed my business. For example, our VA sent out a newsletter for our client appreciation event, and I had a dozen past clients and potential new clients where typically I'd have 2 people come because I would just call my friends and say, hey, come to this. So that's really, really good wisdom. And something else that I think is really important, Gay, especially with, you talked about for much is given, much will be expected, and you come into this business with a servant heart. Tell me more about that. What does that mean to you?
Well, one of the things that I've always said is that real estate is about people way more than it is about properties, right? When you are there to serve them, and serving can look different. Sometimes serving people is to say, it might be best that you don't sell your house now. That's serving. That in certain instances, that's the best thing that you could say to them. Sometimes I say that. Sometimes what I'm saying is here's what you need to do. You have to understand what their goals are and what their needs are and what their fears are, right? So if you can get behind what their fears are and help them with that, that will move them forward in whichever way that they need to move forward. I always believe that real estate is a long game. So when I touch people, I want it to last beyond that particular conversation, right? So whatever the conversation is, if it's not that they're supposed to do this today and they're going to do it in 10 years from today, I still want the advice or the guidance that I gave them to be powerful enough that they will remember me in 10 years. And that happens. I get so many people who will come to me and say, we met, I had yesterday a listing that I went to, and they were like, we met you 7 years ago. And we've decided, at that point, we decided not to sell. And now we would never have thought to call anybody other than you. So I didn't get that deal at that time, right? It wasn't right for them, but I made an impact on them, and they knew that I wasn't there just with commission breath, right? Just trying to get a quick commission. Because when people sense that and feel that, it is a huge turnoff. They don't want that. They want someone who is there for them. And so a little secret that I have, I never look at what my commissions are going to be. Okay, now I haven't always been that way. There are certain times you just have to, right? You have to know what your numbers are and all of that. But for me, I don't. Last year I sold a $6 million house, and I've had so many people say, what was your commission on that? And I don't know. I don't have any idea. Even after the fact, I don't know. I've never sat down to figure it out. And the reason why is because when it becomes about money for me, then it quits being about people. And I don't want it to be about money. What I know is that if I serve people at the highest level, the money will come.
That's right.
Right. And so I'm not focused on the money at all. I don't get the check. I don't look at the DA. I've got somebody else that does that, and someone who deposits the check in my account. My husband does our finances. And unless he tells me to slow down on my American Express card, then I know that right? I mean, that's kind of how it works. But I'm just out there serving people, taking care of them. And I know I've learned over time that the money comes with the service, that when I'm doing truly taking care of people at the very highest level, then it comes back to me.
Yeah, that's right. And Gaye, tell me, what is the one or two, if you have any, hardest lessons that you've learned in this business?
Hardest lessons. Well, one hard lesson is that it is hard to work with family. So I've worked with family, and there were great aspects to it, but there were also difficult aspects that impacted our relationship. Even from my husband, who still works with me, I remember the very first week that I brought him in. I had been selling for like 12 years, and then he came and joined me and my one assistant. And he came in and wanted to say, why do you do this? And you should do it this way. And you should change this. And you should, And I can remember my assistant just saying to me, do not fire him. We need him. We need his help. Like, don't fire him. But it was really hard, for him to come in. Someone else probably wouldn't have, who didn't have any, experience selling real estate, wouldn't have come in and just tried to tell me how to, run my business, right? But a family member will. So, so know who of your family members you could actually do that with successfully, and who you couldn't. What I learned, like even with my husband, we've worked together now for many, many years, but we don't work together at all. Like he does his thing, he's in his lane, I'm in my lane. Our days look very different. The things that we're doing are very different, and it's not overlapping. Now, maybe you're somebody that can do that and you go on all of your appointments together and, all of that. For me, that just didn't work. With my son, same thing. He tried to pull and I was pulling, and we were similar personalities. He's great. And he was great then too. He's no longer selling real estate. He's doing other things. But part of that was because it just wasn't, and it wasn't for me or for him. It wasn't worth sacrificing our relationship for that. So that would probably be one of the, the tough lessons that I learned.
And what do you tell me? Maybe it was a year ago, I listened to Jordan Freed talk about, taking a dedicated hour or two off in the middle of the week without your phone, doing some refreshment, whether it's exercise or a massage or self-care. And then, once a month, taking a long weekend. And he talked about taking a week off every quarter. What do you do to recharge yourself in a busy life?
Yeah, well, when I was a new agent, when I was first starting, and I had come from being a stay-at-home mom, and then my second month in real estate, I sold 5 houses. And so I hit the ground running hard and working very late hours. This was before we had home computers and things like that. This was back in the dark ages. And I'd be at the office, and I had a rule for myself that if it was midnight, I had to leave, right? It just was dumb to stay there past midnight working by myself in a dark office. So things have changed, and they've become much easier for people. But even then, starting from the very beginning, I would take a long week off. My kids were young, and so we would do whatever I could afford to do at the time. We sometimes would, we would maybe go up to Vail or to Breck for a long weekend. Or so I remember one time we went to downtown Denver, because that's what we could afford, was to do downtown Denver and just do Denver things for the weekend. But we would do every month one weekend thing. There were times that we would fly to Disneyland for the weekend. So whatever it looked like, it was different every weekend, but it was getting away, not working, and really focusing on my family. And, that was something that was great. At this point in time, it looks different. I'm a grandmother of 7 now, so a lot of the things that I'm doing are with my grandkids. But I'm leaving tomorrow, going on a cruise with a bunch of women that are 55 and older. So just kind of people who are in my age group and stage of life, and we do that once a year. I have a home in Fort Worth, Texas. My daughter and 2 of my grandkids are in Fort Worth. And so once a month, I go to our Fort Worth house for 4 to 5 days at a time. And I was there last weekend doing that. And now I tend to work still when I'm doing that. I wouldn't have to. I do have people that I can leverage with, but I've worked for so long and so much that it's actually just easier for me to do it, and just to kind of figure out, this is the time I'm going to work and this is the time I'm not. But last weekend I went to my granddaughter's play, and then we drove to Houston for her volleyball tournament. And, it was a full busy weekend, and back on Monday, and, did the whole week. And now this week I'm headed on a cruise. Next month I'm going to Jamaica. The month after that, I'm doing a Disney cruise with all of my kids and grandkids. So for me, it's about once a month that I do something. And sometimes it's even more than that, because I don't really count my trip to Fort Worth as, time off, because I just figure out how to work differently when I'm down there. But it is about once a month for me to do something that recharges me a little bit, because otherwise when I'm here, I'm working a lot. And so, I have to be able to get away a lot in order to, stay recharged.
That's great. Well, Gay, thank you so much for joining us today. You're a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we're blessed and grateful to have you.
So you're very welcome. I want to end with one thing just regarding more mountain properties, a little bit less about me and more about you guys. So one of the things that I like to do is, I do use Chat GPT. So that's something that I've, familiarized myself with quite well. And I asked Chat, something about mountain properties and selling of mountain properties. And particularly if it is like second homes, if that's the market that you're working in. And it just came up with this. And I love this. And I'm going to leave this with you to think about. Okay. So it says, if you're marketing homes, then you're competing. If you're marketing lifestyle, you're attracting. And if you're marketing legacy, you're winning. Okay. So what I would be doing if I were all of you in the markets that you're in is I would be marketing lifestyle and legacy. Not, this is a 3-bedroom house priced at X amount of dollars, right? Everyone can do that. But why would you do that? Why would you buy this second home? Why would you do that? Well, I can give a story and an example. A lady by the name of Mary Harker lives in Steamboat Springs. Mary Harker was one of the biggest names in real estate in Dallas. She's like 85 years old now. So, this was years ago. And she built a really big business. She gave it to her son, he took over the business, Dan Harker, who is still in Dallas right now. Mary spends 2/3 of her time in Steamboat Springs. And Dan and his family are always going back and forth to Steamboat. That is their place. That's where their kids will go. Everybody goes to this home in Steamboat that is like the family, vacation, the family getaway. It's where they spend their Christmases. It's where they spend all of their time, right? When they're not working, they love to go to the Steamboat home. That is lifestyle, and it's legacy. That is a legacy that that Mary Harker is leaving with her family, not just her business that she created, long ago, but that is the legacy that she's building on. And there are so many people like Mary, and you need to be trying to figure out how to promote the legacy and the lifestyle that comes with the types of properties that you are selling. You need to convey to the sellers that that's what you're able to do, is convey legacy and lifestyle. They will work with you because you're not just conveying how many bedrooms the house has. People who are buying in your markets are not buying for the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. They're buying for a dream and the legacy and the lifestyle. And so I'm going to leave that with you. Start focusing. Not one of you has ever approached me. I sell more houses in Denver than anybody. Our team was #1 in the Denver board. We were recognized last week. So we sold more houses than anybody. Why don't I know you? Why haven't you gotten in front of me? I do have mountain agents that I've referred to, and it's not been any of you. It's been the ones who built the relationship with me, who are, approaching me and getting to know me. And that's who I refer them to. And I'd much rather refer to a Keller Williams agent, but no one has tried to reach out to me. No one has reached out to Dan Harker, who's up there all the time and who knows people who know him and know, what he's doing. Like, you've got to think outside of the box of who are the people out there who I can team up with, who can get me the business.
That is a great dose of wisdom, Gay.
A little bit of tough love there. If you
That's
know
right.
me, you know that that's part of what I bring to everybody, my clients too.
Right.
I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And that's something that I think you all need to hear. Okay. Be selling lifestyle and legacy, and find the people who you can partner with to help you to do that.
That's great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for your time. Enjoy your spring break. It's so good to see you guys. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Bye, Gay.
Bye.
Guys, we'll see you on next Tuesday on the lift. Thanks for joining today.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.